Exotic landscapes, inexplicable and simply astonishing. Climbing, walking, paddling through the mangroves, and sometimes just finding yourself in the Atlantic Ocean. History, people, food, and rich culture, crossing the horizons to find nature away from civilization. This is Storybird Discovery Eye. Nigeria's Mangrove Forest, the next crude awaiting discovery. On a typical morning in the islands of Ibano, the men wake to go about their fishing activities, while the women wait mostly at the shores, biding time till when the men comes back with their catch for the day. They buy it up and go on to process and smoke them, in preparation for buyers who traverse land and sea to come and buy. But right about when the human activities are going on, the often overlooked ecosystem nearby is breeding different, working so hard to support the civilization surrounding it. Inhabitants of the islands in Ibano are so connected to the sea. Their existence here depends on it. Bathing, washing, cooking, trading, and traditional customs are all done in, around, and on the sea. But the most extraordinary treasure that sits at the terrace behind the human activities is the Mangrove Forest. Oceanographers have found that the mangrove habitat is the most essential ecosystem around island communities, as it protects the land in and around coastal communities from rising sea levels and constant raging storms. The mangrove forests in Nigeria are the largest in Africa and the third largest in the world after India and Indonesia. The term mangrove generally applies to an association of trees which live in wet and loose soils in tropical tide waters. In Nigeria, the mangrove are found in Edo, Ogun, Lagos, Ondo, Rivers, Delta, Bayelsa, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom State is said to have the largest portion of Nigeria's mangrove forest. This place is known to be rich in both aquatic and terrestrial biodiversity. It serves as nurseries to a huge number of marine fish species and contributes to a significant part of essential food resources. We discovered thousands of acres of mangrove forest in islands of Ibano, unprocessed and untouched in its natural habitats. On this day, our team took off from the jetty. It was a cloudy morning, and we were so fortunate the clouds did not open up their wet bellies on us. In about an hour, we were slithering through the muddy banks of the mangrove forest in the Akwa Ibom River. Our tour guide explained that the state's name, Akwa Ibom, was derived from this historic river. This river feeds a zone of the mangrove swamps linked by creeks and lagoons that is separated from the sea by a low and narrow ridge of muddiness. You can see the muddy river bank eddying, reminding you of a cup of hot chocolate on a rainy morning. Locals come to the mangroves here to hunt, and sometimes their fishing expedition brings them to those points. Crocodiles and snakes are a normal sight around here. As we gliding through the river, we saw some fishes bob up, but they quickly waded away before we focused the camera on them. Wildflowers grew effortlessly on some shrubs, giving the surrounding greenery a touch of color. But there is something striking about the vegetation in the mangrove forest here, and that is the nipa palm. The nipa palm is the dominant vegetation in the ecosystem here. The lush greenery towers feet into the air and spreads to thousands upon thousands of acres. In other countries, it is called the mangrove palm, water palm, fruit, or plainly the nipa palm. Unlike the tropical palm tree or coconut trees that grows long and whose fruits we use in our everyday lives in the city, the nipa palm is a treasure yet to be exploited in this part of the world. The nipa palm is the shortest growing natural palm. It is stunted with its roots reaching several feet into the soil. This helps support it against tide and serve as a solid habitation for sea crocodiles. The sturdy leaves can extend up to 30 feet in height, and the people in the highland communities use it mostly for their thatched houses. They confirm it lasts longer than the houses built from palm or coconut fronds. They also use the nipa palm leaves to weave baskets or other decorative arts. The nipa palm has two genders, the male and the female. The male sprouts bright yellow flowers, while the female sprouts catkin-like reddish flowers, which forms into globular clusters. When you see a tree like this in the forest, just know it is the female nipa palm tree. The beauty of the circular wooden nuts. A tour guide explained that this is a savory deity for monkeys. It is common to see some of these fruits separate from these clusters and float away on the tide, and even to the front beach shore. But one truth Nigeria is yet to discover is that these globular clusters are a delight and highly sought after for their many uses in Asia. Its medicinal and culinary properties are highly sought after in many cultures in South Asia. These wooden nuts are harvested and opened by cutting them in halves. The juicy white cotinous innards are harvested and used in meals. In high-end restaurants in Europe, they are used in special meals in South Asia. They are also used in preparing local jams and candies popular in those areas. A group of enterprising farmers in Surigao del Sur in Philippines are producing natural sweetener from nipa palm, a very natural alternative to industrially processed sugar because of its lower glycemic index. These sugars are popular and available in stores where you get stevia. Nipa palm is also processed into ethanol and vinegar. Baskets or decorative artworks made from nipa are said to last longer than its counterpart palms. It was such an astonishing and unconventional discovery. It is fascinating that we have these natural resources in abundance in this country, and we are yet to preserve, explore, and utilize it. Probably sometime soon, our politicians' focus will tilt to this versatile beauty in nature that God has blessed us abundantly with. Truly, Akwa Ibom's mangrove is the crude oil yet to be discovered by Nigeria. Thank you.